Hello and welcome to Rising. We have a great show for you today. I just had a fantastic interview with Senator Rand Paul. Got up early to get that one checked off.
That makes one of us.
List. Well, we're sorry not to have you, Briahna, but so glad you're here for the rest of the show. We got Trump news, I think, to deal with today.
Yeah, let's get right into it. Federal prosecutors have obtained audio recordings in which former President Donald Trump acknowledges he retained classified materials about potential U.S. military action in Iran after leaving the White House. This, according to new reporting from CNN. In the recording taken during a 2021 meeting with two ghostwriters for Mark Meadows' then-in-the-works autobiography, Trump suggests he would like to share the classified information, but is aware of limitations on his ability to declassify records post-presidency.
Meadows' finished autobiography contains an accounting of what appears to be the same meeting. Quote, Trump recalls a 4-page report typed up by Trump's former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, himself. It contained the general's own plan to attack Iran, deploying massive numbers of troops, something he urged President Trump to do more than once during his presidency. Trump did not produce the report in question, CNN was told. This is so frustrating. So, a top military advisor to President Trump was repeatedly urging him throughout his presidency to start World War III with Iran. Mm-hmm. So perhaps I'm naive, Briahna. Mm-hmm. That, I think, would be the headline for me, mm-hmm. that the military-industrial complex, the deep state, mm-hmm. wants war with Iran. But CNN thinks the interesting thing about this is that, aha, we got Trump. He has that document, and he knows he was not supposed to have it. Ha!
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously, for Democrats who are hoping that one of these Trump prosecutions actually sticks and prevents him from running for president, that is what they have an appetite for, right? And the documents case was perceived to be a much stronger case than the Stormy Daniels case out of New York. So to the extent that there is information that shows that he knew at the time that he wasn't supposed to be in possession of documents, and also declined to acquiesce to the document request once the government started asking for them back, that is useful evidence for them, especially since there was the whole rigmarole about Trump saying that he thought he could declassify everything by just saying it was declassified. Mm-hmm. This suggests that he knew that that wasn't the case, or he believed internally that that wasn't the case. However, I very much take your point that the headline does, at least one of the headlines,
we really buried the lead there. Trump repeatedly urged to attack Iran by Mark Milley, by the way, is that general who briefly became a kind of resistance lib hero because there was that hearing where he defended the teaching of critical race theory or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
And so then conservatives really attacked him for weakening our military with trans stuff, that kind of, but then he was also, held up as a hero by liberal Democrats mm-hmm. for, pushing back on that kind of stuff.
Doesn't take much.
Yeah, what a hero. Urging if he actually repeatedly urged it, I guess maybe it's the military's job to draw up plans in a hypothetical battle scenario, sure. But that's different than urging. And he wouldn't be the only person in the Trump administration to urge that. John Bolton, who Trump chose to be a top military and diplomatic advisor, has said we should bomb Iran and I think various other places, which, again, speaking to the incoherence at times of the Trump foreign policy. But man, I think it's so much less significant that Trump had the document and he knows he had the document. And again, I want to see these documents. Let's see these documents.
Yeah, so it's
why is it being held secret from us?
That we know of these audio recordings, and people who have apparently listened to the audio recordings have been interviewed for the sake of these articles by various reporters, but we haven't heard the audio recording itself yet. But I do think your framing is spot on, especially when you think of this in the electoral context that, of course, we're now in the scope of 2024. I think Democrats are hoping that this results in some kind of criminal conviction that precludes Trump from running for office. It's not clear that that would be the case either way. But just in pure political terms, it's not really obvious to me that anyone who likes Trump or would be considering supporting Trump cares about this, and they specifically don't care about it more than they care about the idea that Trump is a president who they believe they can latch their anti-war hopes and dreams to, that he is the one that has been branding himself in this way and has demonstrated a kind of consistency, at least on the not starting new wars front, that others, even in the Republican Party who are trying to pick up the anti-war mantle, haven't been able to do successfully. Contrast this to Ron DeSantis, who's gone back and forth in Ukraine, who has had some flip-ups with the whole media cycle around it's a territorial dispute and then backtracking and then, Donald Trump,
I agree.
If anything,
it doesn't come as naturally to DeSantis as it did to Trump when Trump would say, why are we wasting money and time doing this? This is a bad, Iraq is a horrible idea. All of Afghanistan, I think it is a little bit more force for DeSantis.
Yeah, and you hear him, making reference to his own time in service and kind of using the shield of the rhetoric around the troops, but it starts to feel very regressive. It feels very from a very
and a lot of the troops don't support
style.
I was just actually recalling that because I interviewed Senator Rand Paul, his father, Representative Ron Paul, beloved kind of libertarian icon for economic reasons, but also for foreign policy reasons. He was really the first person when he ran for president in 2008. To bring in the Republican fold, actually really before Donald Trump was a political factor in the Republican Party, speaking a stridently anti-interventionist foreign policy at a time where the elites in the Republican Party, the other candidates, were totally neocon consensus, had no idea that the base wanted non-interventionism, and he would say things, and the other candidates like John McCain and Rudy Giuliani would say he's unpatriotic, say he's rooting for our enemies, and he would point out that, well, then why do more military service members support me over all of you? Well, they agree with me, because the folks that we've sent overseas to wage our battles, I mean, they know what their lives are worth. They know that what they have seen, that so many times it was a huge, colossal mistake that got people killed.
Yeah. Well, so what do you make about the implications of this for Trump's documents case? There has been an effort, and I think a reasonable effort, to close the gap between Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Mike Pence. Basically, everyone in government, it seems, has taken classified documents, and conservatives have been making that case. Democrats, liberals, have been making the counter-argument that, one, Trump can be distinguished from the others because he did not cooperate when he was asked to return the documents. And now this seems to add another little wrinkle for Trump's argument, saying that he knew he had documents that he wasn't supposed to have in his possession and still decided to hold on to them. Do you think that makes a difference? I
mean, sure. If you want to convince me, I don't even need convincing. I believe it. Is Trump, given the range of political figures, was he particularly incautious with documents and what he kept relative to other political figures? Yes, you don't need to persuade me of that. That sounds perfectly plausible. It's his entire approach to everything he does. Do I think it is particularly significant?
Incautious, though, Robby?
No.
There's a difference. I think that what people are saying is that it was purposeful and, deceitful, as opposed to accidental or incautious.
All right, I don't have any interest in defending Donald Trump in general, including on this. I think, given the range of crimes being committed by people in government, including in Trump's own government, including what this document might point to in terms of what his top foreign policy advisors wanted him to do. I see a lot. I see bigger scandals, but sure, Trump he filed those papers wrong. He sure did. Boy, did he.
Okay, all right. Let us know what you think. We're rising for you right after this.